Good morning and welcome to Purpose Driven Finances, where our focus is helping you use your finances to achieve the purpose and plan for your life. And now here's the host of Purpose Driven Finances, Alan Molina with Serwus Capital Management.
Hey, good morning. This is Alan Molina, your host, Purpose Driven Finances, President, Serwus Capital Management. Hope you're having a great day. I tell you, you're listening to this show at 10:30. It's going to be a hot one today. It is going to be hot. I got a warning on my phone that in this region, it's going to be like 107 or some ridiculous thing. So you got to watch out, folks. Hydrate. And before I get into that, I'm sitting here with my friend, my homie, Rich Roth. How you doing, man?
Your homie?
My homie.
Okay.
You know, I decided to go to, not decided, I'm going to Vegas. Everybody knows I'm going to Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you something, man. I totally forgot to bring it. You got to know, you know the guy who was known on the radio, on your radio station shows local by the name of Ed.
Okay.
He always, he didn't tell me his real name.
All right.
He said, I'm known as Ed.
Ed. Okay.
On the sports line.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm trying to
And
remember. It's been a while for me, you know.
Right, exactly. And he says, Alan, you have one of the top two, my two favorite shows. One of my top two favorite shows.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, appreciate it, man. He just stopped by my office and he took a piece of brass, bronze. I'm not a metallurgist. I didn't pronounce it right, but I don't study metals, and it's either brass or bronze or something. And I think I should have brought it, but he put it on a lathe, and it's like a rope that twists around, and then has a plate, and it holds an 8-ball.
Oh, cool.
He walked in my office and said, "Here you go."
Wow.
I was like, "Dude, it's pretty cool." It's about probably 8-10 inches tall.
Dude, that's great.
It is pretty cool.
Is Ed an older gentleman?
He has a white beard and white hair.
Okay.
Nice guy. So, I would say probably late 40s, early 50s.
All right.
I wouldn't say older, like 90.
Okay. Fair enough.
He's probably my age.
All right.
But I was so impressed. I was like, dude. And so I put it out there, every client, every prospect. But check this out, man.
That's cool.
So I'm meant to bring it. I'll show you next week. It's pretty cool. Or if you go to lunch, All
right.
But
no. You ditched me this week.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. No lunch this week. But I took a client out to what's that place? East Coast Wings. And their their Philly steak was so much better this time. I don't know what happened, but it was a great experience. But folks, be careful. And I'm going to suggest something to you. Not only do you drink some water, but drink some water with some Soleil in it. You ever heard of Soleil?
Nope. It's
spelled Sole. And basically what you do is you take some whatever size jar you have, and you put in a cup of Himalayan salt. Mm-hmm. And then what you do is you let that sit 24, 48 hours, and the water absorbs as much of the salt it can. And so the salinity is the max, and then you just take a tablespoon, put it in your whatever drink, probably not like if you drink beer, that's probably nasty, or tea, it's probably nasty. I do like a little lemonade and do this. So it's homemade Gatorade. And it takes care of all your electrolytes.
Wow.
And you're like, Alan, why are you doing this? Well, I'm telling you, because it's hot. You're going to sweat. You don't want to have issues from dehydration and not having electrolytes.
What's the name of this show again?
Exactly. Purpose-driven health finances. Health and finances. Hey, I don't want anybody that's listening to me go out and fall out in their yard because of a heat stroke because they didn't hydrate. That's pretty expensive. I mean, really expensive, like tens of thousands of dollars. So take care of yourself. You know, purpose-driven finances, baby. Looking out for you. Looking out for you.
Man, going the extra mile.
Because you don't have to make Gatorade. I mean, we're talking, you make that you get the little squirt bottles. That's what I do from Walmart. I'm probably making 32 ounces for like 20 cents.
Wow.
Instead of $4.
See, and there's the finance right there.
Is, baby. That's
right.
You know?
I mean, so not only are you helping people stay healthy, but save money.
Exactly. You know, and then they can save money and not go get your Starbucks and go to that place that's advertising on here.
Joe Beans.
Joe Beans. Go to Joe Beans. Get them cheaper and save the money and go on vacation. Bam, chicka, wow, wow. Exactly. You know, that's what they should do.
There you go.
So, Rich.
Yes.
So glad you're here, man. I'm very thankful for you. You guys don't even know. You know, one day, 20 years from now, hopefully we'll be like Dave Ramsey selling our mansion on the hill.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in for that.
Exactly. So am I. But, we are in a transitioning from a quad 3 to a quad 2.
It's getting better and better. We were talking
better.
about quad 4s a couple weeks ago.
Right,
now we're in 3s and 2s, and
right.
That's
and
the lower you go, the better you get.
And so you called me on Friday or texted me and said, "Hey, bro, what you doing and what's your schedule?" And we were talking about it. So I was doing some portfolio analysis, and I tell you one thing that's very interesting is. Do you remember back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
When you were at the firm, managing money.
All right.
That you would go into, back then, a lot of it was Morningstar.
Mm-hmm.
You would put in the mutual funds, the ETFs, the stocks
Yep.
to figure out the overlap, the percentages,
Sure.
Optimization.
Mm-hmm.
And there's many companies that do it. And so I was sitting there on Friday just saying, you know what? Let's see what happens. ChatGPT will do it for you.
ChatGPT will do an awful lot for you.
It will. And here's what I'm hearing from in the employment market. This is finances.
Okay.
It's not because I've been really blessed. On Thursday, I got 3 new clients.
Wow.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
Really blessed. Got 2 or 3 more just from this past week that we've met with and seeing what's going to happen. But I was talking to them because some of them are executives, and they said, you know what? People are scared of AI, that AI is going to cause people to be out of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really, unless you're with the Fed. They're not doing a very good job. What's going to end up happening is it's those people who don't know how to use AI in order to achieve what is needed. That's going to be who's going to be, very difficult.
You want to hear a great story about AI?
I always want to hear great stories, even if it's on the radio show.
I was talking with Ashley the other day, and she was telling me one of the shows, because I do too many. I mean, for a guy who doesn't really do a show, I do too many shows.
Well, stay here, bro.
Okay.
I'll increase your pay.
Will you double it, triple it? She took my Locally on the Link show.
Right.
She put it into a system that transcribes it, so you don't have to listen to it. And then she put it into ChatGPT and said, summarize it. And it spit out within 10 minutes. It had summarized and had, the whole thing laid out. And I'm sitting there like it was before I even came upstairs. And she's like, what do you want to pull for a promo? And I'm sitting there going, wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, did you know that you can actually do AI, and eventually we're going to be taping this? I'm going to be filming it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not ready yet. I need to get another camera and that way I can have a camera looking at you.
Nah, that's the last thing we need.
A camera looking at me. And you can take the entire video, the entire half an hour, put it into AI. It'll chop it up for social media and give you the best clips.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Guess what I'm going to do, bro?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to do that. Oh, yeah. ChatGPT, AI is fabulous at doing that type of thing. And the people who are going to actually lose out in their careers are those who don't know how to do it. And
But now, do you need producers? Do you need
you do.
do you need agencies to do that if AI is going to do it all?
Well, I think you do need agencies and producers. You just need to have smart producers and agencies. Because instead of, Ashley did that in 10 to 15 minutes and then reading it probably half an hour, she has to be able to know how to do it, how to analyze it, and how to go through it, not just because you could get a college intern to do exactly what she did the first 5 minutes.
Well, and it's interesting too, because we'll have a lot of folks will say, oh, I did a commercial, right, to put on the radio,
right,
and oh yeah, I just punched it into ChatGPT and it spit it out, but it needs to be tweaked.
It does.
It needs to be massaged, and that's where the expertise comes in.
Right, exactly. And so, but not only that, but you need to have the expertise in asking the questions. Because in our day and age, we've gotten so lazy in the questions we ask and how we ask them. And if you're using AI, they say prompts, but you need to be able to ask very specific questions and give the parameters. And so it's just having a working knowledge, and it's a big help. So, folks, we got about 18 minutes for the entire show,
which you've gotten none of what you wanted.
Oh
to
yeah,
talk.
I wanted
Oh yeah, you did mention quad 3 and quad 2.
People enjoy that. I mean, Rich, I have been blessed, and one of the reasons I'm thankful for is I know my cost per month is a nice little penny, but I really appreciate it because I can't stand just doing a postcard and saying use Alan Molina Financial Services, the best thing since sliced bread. No one is going to do that. But if they hear my voice, hear my story, and hear my heart, it enables me to really work with a lot of people because people realize that my passion is to help them to achieve the purpose and plan for their life, regardless if it ultimately helps me or not, because my supply does not come from my clients, which I know is strange. It's strange, but I believe my supply comes from God. I know it's strange.
What do you mean your supply?
My supply, my income.
Oh, okay.
My income.
I got you.
That's what I mean. What I do. So let me ask you a question. I got the answers here. So you can look. So I might ask. I want to create some.
Okay, I haven't looked.
Dun, 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 dun.
I haven't looked. The only thing I saw was quad 3 and quad 2.
Yeah. So I purposely did not rank. I didn't. I mean, I could have given you the top 10.
Okay.
There's about 11, 12 sectors, depending on how you cut them up. And so I chose not the second one. I'm not going to tell anybody what the first one is. The reason being is there's financial advisors that listen to me. And remember, like about a month and a half ago, I had a financial advisor call me locally. Do I get everything right? I don't always get everything right. Am I perfect? No. But, we're rocking and rolling. Okay. In quad 2, what is the second best returns in a quad 2 quarter? If you remember all the sectors, not individual stocks, sectors. And you're like, I don't know what the sectors are. Let me try to, let me give you a few of them. There's utilities, there's energies,
right.
there's financials,
there's
technology, there's communications, which now is really Meta and things such as that, Google. There's industrials, there's materials, there's REITs, things like that. What do you think is the number 2?
This quad thing is still relatively new to me.
It is, yeah. It's new to a lot of people.
Yeah. I have no guess.
Industrials.
Okay.
Average return per quarter going back many, many, many quarters is 5.1%. Number 1 is 2 points higher.
Wow.
Number 3, 4, and 5 are within a half a point.
So 1 is a clear cut.
Yeah. And
you're not giving that.
No, I'm not.
Call now.
Call me, 434-316-0246. Listen, you know, I want to educate people, but I don't want to help their financial advisors help them. Sorry, bro, sister. What's the worst one? Do you know? Of all those 11, I listed them. What's the worst one?
This is just a random guess. Financials.
Nope. Utilities. In a quad 2, the average return for the index is 0.5%.
Yeah, that's not very good.
It's one of the top ones in quad 3. So it's going to be interesting. So it's a great day, folks. Keep out of the heat. We're going to go to a 30-second break. And when you come back, we're going to talk about the risk that you will face as a retiree. And I believe we have 3 top ones. And stick around and catch us on the flip side.
Hi, I'm Vince Colonnese, host of The Vince Show and Vince Podcast. It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America. I'll give you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories, and I'll bring attention to the stories the legacy media want you to ignore. We feature newsmaking interviews with the top guests on the planet. I'll ask the questions you can only dream of other interviewers asking. And of course, I'll take your calls from sea to shining sea. The Vince Show and Vince Podcast.
Weekdays from noon to 3 on WLNI. And now, back to Purpose-Driven Finances. Here's Alan Molina with Serwus Capital Management.
Hey, good morning again. Alan Molina, host of Purpose-Driven Finances, president of Serwus Capital Management. Now, if you're listening to me, you can also get a repeat at 8:30 tomorrow morning. And if you're not listening to me, I'm just going to send up good vibes at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Okay? Like that means anything. But folks, if you hear me sneeze, I apologize. I'm hoping that it doesn't happen. But we're talking about risk to your retirement, protecting your future from 3 main things that I want to talk about. Now, never mind. These are risks that too many families overlook until it's too late. And I want to briefly introduce them: fraud, divorce, and death. And they can derail even the best laid plans. First one, Rich, is fraud. And Rich, I talked to you, before the show, and I talked a little bit about it. I've had too many clients. One is too many, but I've had too many clients fall into this trap of fraud. It's the silent retirement killer. Now, what I do is on Twitter. It doesn't really happen on Facebook, but it really happens on Twitter and sometimes on Instagram. People will contact you and friend you, and then they'll eventually, what I'm doing is I'm telling you exactly how it works, okay? There's phishing things on your email where they say, hey, here's your receipt for the $500 you just spent at an Apple store or Sam's or Costco. You click on it and it downloads, or they say you need to log in and you give them your credentials, and then that's one way they do it. We're not talking about this. We're talking about fraud in the sense that we're going to be very specific of how people commit fraud trying to use social media. I mean, there's all kinds of, people try to steal your wiring instructions. When I used to work at Liberty, people would actually, from all over the world, would get paid, but then somebody would copy their checks and their signatures. It happens to businesses, so you got to be careful of that. I'm really talking about fraud, and what ends up happening is, Rich, you're on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, or X. And have you ever looked at those requests of a direct message? I do. I tell my wife, you can look at me anytime you want to, but sometimes I entertain them, because I'm just interested to see what they'll say and how they say it. Mm-hmm. And what it does is it gives me knowledge. That way I can educate my clients. So here's what they'll do. They'll like a few of your posts or your X's or your tweets or whatever, or it's probably on True Social as well. And then they'll like them, and then they'll go and they'll send you a DM and say, oh, I like so many of yours. thought we could be friends, or X or somebody suggested we be friends. You're like, oh, whatever. That's fine. And they're like talking to you. It always happens to a guy, unless you are a different kind of guy. But for me, it's usually a girl or a lady in her 30s, somewhat attractive. And she's like, you know what? Your posts are just amazing, so educational. It's just amazing. It's just so beautiful. How awesome it is. And then they have a heartache story and all this stuff. And then they'll say, hey, I don't check Twitter. I'm just using that as an example. I don't check it very much. So we need to go to WhatsApp or Telegram. And then they'll say, let's go over there, and they'll talk. And there's a reason why they do that. Because it's more encrypted, and often they're held off-site of the United States. So they don't have the information there. So what they'll do is then they'll say, hey, I'm going to befriend you and talk to you, and they'll either have a sob story, get you to invest crypto, or they'll impersonate somebody. Like they're impersonating Bill Gates or somebody. And they'll try to give you a great deal. And they'll either try to get you to invest somewhere, like crypto. That's normally what happens to me. Hey, what are you invested in? I checked, and they'll send me a screenshot. This is my passive income. And this one that they tried to get me on was 3% a day. They were earning passively 3% a day.
Nice.
That's nice. That's some serious money after a year.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I was like, oh. So I looked at it, and I continuously looked at it. And the reason I share this, folks, is simply because they target retirees. They target anybody who is vulnerable. And if I had been a vulnerable person and gotten my significance from that pretty 35-year-old, which is probably a fat guy in a basement, then what would have happened is I would have been willing to give my money away. And so what I'm trying to say, folks, is generally when people get caught up in fraud, it's one of two reasons. It's either you don't feel like you're enough, or you feel like you're too much. Is that clear what I'm saying, Rich? You're either too humble, you don't feel adequate, or you think you are the cat's meow, that your dumpings don't stink. You ever met somebody like that?
So you're either so inadequate that you're like, oh my God, somebody likes me.
Exactly.
Or you're like, oh, of course somebody likes me.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or no one will ever trick me. And they're always telling the truth. And that's generally who it falls into. Or you're just really gullible. That's the third one.
There's always that one.
There's always that one. No, it's not the IRS calling you. Hey, I almost tried to do an Indian voice, but then
yeah, don't do that.
Then you'd say, Alan, you're being socially, But watch out, folks. It's a killer of your retirement. And never rush into an opportunity. Hang up. The bank is never going to call you and request all of your information. They can call you to verify, but just be careful. And also, folks who have people in that are, building a retirement, that could be in your 30s. Firms, larger firms and banks, they have departments that are geared towards helping those who are vulnerable. Being vulnerable doesn't mean you'd be 95. You can be vulnerable if you're 30, if you're depressed, discouraged, or gullible. So, folks, watch out. That's number one, fraud. Learn about the programs. Talk to me. Let me help you achieve the purpose and plan for your life and protect your assets. Number two, Rich.
Divorce.
Exactly.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. You ever heard of gray divorce?
No.
I didn't hear it until I was researching for the show either. Gray divorce. That's divorce after you're age 50. What's silver divorce, like 75? I don't know, man. What happens if you never get gray? I'm just kidding. So Did you hear? Have you heard the new definition of Coldplay? It's bad.
Go ahead.
It's bad. I don't have. I got it on my phone.
Oh,
You know, the CEO of that.
yeah, yep.
You know, and
Everybody's seen it.
everybody has seen it. You know, there's been memes and things like that. But check this out. What ends up happening is your retirement savings, your retirement savings get split, your house gets sold, and your income plans get disrupted. And a single household suddenly becomes two. And so what ends up happening is it is a tough time. Now, some of you out there are saying, you know what, Alan, you have no idea who I'm living with, who I'm married to, or things like that. I'm not.
But if you made it to 50,
right, you know, there's all sorts of things. You know, I would like to, talk to Tim Clinton or somebody at American Association of Christian Counselors. Talk to a local pastor. You know, where my office is, right below me, there's a counselor. He deals with all sorts of people. And the previous counselor that was before him, they would smoke pot down there. They would. It would come up into my office. You know, not the current guy, but the previous guy. So what I'm saying is, before or during marriage, make sure you work on things. And sometimes life happens, and mistakes are made, or somebody just wants out. Make sure that you have everything in place. You know, you need to revisit your beneficiary designations, make sure everything is up to date, and things such as that. Also, before you get into a marriage, consider prenuptial or postnuptial agreements. And that way, realistically, I don't suggest those. I'm just saying the world does from a legal standpoint. If I had a lawyer here, the lawyer would be saying, look at those things. I don't really think that's the best way to go about going into it. But if you're in your second or third marriage, something to look at. Any thoughts, Rich?
on divorce,
Yeah.
it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive. I've got plenty of friends who have gone through it, and you're exactly right. I mean, it's all of a sudden you're sitting there, and it's the income that you guys have had to support one household, now it's two,
Right.
and it's just crazy.
You're a sports line guy, or was. Do you remember what happened with the coach, what the Miami Heat did for the coach?
No.
They didn't give him his $120 million signing new contract extension until after the divorce.
You gotta be smart.
Yeah.
Gotta be smart.
So number 3, folks, is that thing that's going to happen regardless if you want it to or not. I've already told you I'm praying for 120. And so you need to plan for the inevitable issue that's called death. Now, you got to remember that the loss of a spouse, pension, Social Security, and the immediate expenses. Also, probate or pass to unintended heirs. Make sure your wills and your trust and your beneficiaries are up to date. Also, make sure life insurance is adequate, not only replace the income, but also the debt. We mentioned that a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And also have a clear survivor income plan. And he's saying, Alan, I don't plan on getting a divorce, but guess what? You're going to die. And I know it's a joyous occasion. But give me a call at 434-316-0246. I want to help you achieve the purpose and plan for your life. 3 last points. Audit your accounts for fraud protection. Add trusted contacts, set alerts. Review your legal and beneficiary documents. And then have tough conversations about death and survivor income. Put it in writing. Folks, I appreciate you. Give me a call, 434-316-0246.
Returns for illustrative purpose. This is not a suggestion to buy, sell, or use a platform. Only will a suggestion occur after a meeting to determine goals, risk tolerance, and time horizons. Investments involve risks and no guarantee of future results.